welcome back to another film. So what are we doing today? Well, we haven't had to come too far, because if I, there you go, spin you that way, that's where we're stopping, and let's just straighten you up. This is where we're going to be doing our latest little project. So I'm really surprised that, straighten it up again, there's so many swallows still about. I really did think they'd have gone, but there's rafts of them, loads of them up on the telegraph wires, and they've actually got a nest in here with 4 young in. Now, I've been trying to photograph them in the field, and they are so difficult, they're so fast. I thought about trying to get some shots of them coming in and out of the little stable building here. That's proved quite difficult, and we're on a bit of a tight time scale because these chicks are nearly ready for fledging. So what I thought we'd try and do is try and get some pictures of them inside. What I really want to do is try and get some pictures of the adults as they're flying away from the nest, but also get the nest in the picture as well with the young. Now, whether we can achieve this is another thing, because it's dark in there. We're going to have to use flash, and I am not used to using flash really. It's a bit of a new discipline for me. Now, I mentioned in the last film that I was buying some Camtraptions equipment. I got the wildlife bundle set up, so we've got 2 flashes, we've got the triggers, etc, etc. So we're going to have a play around with that. It's a learning curve, and it's a steep learning curve, so we'll have a look. I'm surprised they've not been in and out, to be honest, because they're in and out constantly. This building is used all the time, so the lights are on and off, and they're not really bothered, you know, as you're going in, they're flying out and they're flying in, and they're kind of used to human activity, which is, I mean, swallows, they nest in buildings around barns and farms and etc, so they are used to people, so it's not like we're disturbing them. So we'll get the gear out, we'll come up with a plan and see if we can get some pictures of these swallows. All right. Okay, right, so before we go in, let's just show you the gear that we're using. So we've got the Z9, yeah, on a small tripod. We don't need a great amount of height. Like I said before, I can't go too high because I've got that wooden frame in the way, so it's a bit of a compromise, to be honest. So we've got the Z9, we've got the 70-300. okay, turn the VR off. I put it onto manual focus, so we're going to pre-focus in the hope that the swallow goes along that focal plane, if you will. Camtraptions wise, we've got the transmitter on the top of the camera, okay, so when I fire the shutter, that's going to send a signal to me flashes that I've just knocked over, and no, it's all right. So these are the 2 Camtraptions flashes, so they've both got a receiver on them, yeah, so they're set to the same channel obviously as the transmitter, so when that shutter release goes, it'll fire these flashes off. Now, what I've decided to do, because it's relatively close, I'm only going to shoot a single shot. What I could do, I could put it on 20 frames a second, and the thing is, I could set these at say 1/64th power or 1/128th, and it will fire a load of shots off with a flash, because it's such a low power, it doesn't have any trouble re-energizing, if you will. So for every shot that the camera takes, it'll set a flash off, but it'll be like a strobe effect, and it's not fair on the birds. That they're used to the light coming on and off, and people going in and out, so a single flash isn't going to bother them. So that's what I've chose to do, just single shot, and if I get it, I get it. You know, I could put it on 5 frames a second, but again, it's like I don't know, it's going to be like a disco, isn't it? So we don't want that. It's it might spook the birds, so just single shot. Well, it's all about timing. I mean, I've been watching them, they come in, and literally they're there at the nest for a maximum of 3 to 4 seconds, and then they turn around and they fly out, and that's when I'm hoping to get the shot. When they've turned around, they come in at one angle, and then they go away at another angle. So that's the shot that I'm hoping to get. Let's go and get set up. Right, we're up in the rafters. Luckily there's a little like a staging, if you will, so it allows me to get up to the same height as the nest. Now currently it's about, I don't know, we're about 12 foot away. So what I'm thinking of, I had a bit of a mess around yesterday with focal lengths. I've got a 70 to 300mm lens that is going to be ideal. I want to shoot, you know, a pretty short focal length, so I'm going to shoot at 70mm, and it allows me to have like a bigger field of view, if you will. One, it'll let a bit more light in, and also it'll help me with my depth of field, because you know it's not an exact science. I'm going to shoot at about f8, f11, something like that. Use the power of the flashes to compensate for the low light, and hopefully we'll get them in focus. So we'll get some gear up now and get set up. Okay, so we've got all the equipment up. Tripod, camera, 70 to 300, transmitter on it, flash gun 1 with the receiver on, and flash gun 2 with the receiver on. This one I put on a bit of a lighting mast, so we're going to wedge it up like that in the beam, so we can get a bit of a better angle on the position that I want. The other one, all I'm going to do with this one, so this is going to be set up permanent. This one I'm just going to hand hold it, so then I can try different positions. The camera's going to be set up on the tripod. That's going to be static, so I don't have to worry about that. I only need one hand to operate that. I don't have to hold the camera. And then this other one, like I said, I can just try it in different angles, and I'm not messing about. Like I said before, I don't want to spend a lot of time in here, half an hour, and that's it, we're done, and we'll get out of here. So we'll get this set up now. And again, as I said before, I want to get as high as I can, because I want to get, it's a difficult site because of this frame that's in the way. So I've got to make a few compromises, but I'm going to get up as high as I can, and then I can also leave myself enough room to try and get the swallow as it dives down from the nest. Now another little tip for you is light in this section, because I'm filming, but where the nest is, it's completely dark. So what I need to do, I don't want to shine any light on there. So once I've got my live view on the camera, drop the actual shutter speed right down to maybe half a second, and then that lets all that light in, and it gives me an image on the back of the camera on the LCD, and then I can zoom in, I can focus manually, and then back to the 1/200th of a second, which is what we're going to be shooting at. That's the sync speed with the flashes, and then we're good to go. So you can see on the back of the camera there now, I'll turn it on. The image is completely dark, so that's at 1/200th of a second. What I need to do, I need to be able to manually focus now. So if we drop that shutter speed right down, you'll see the image brightening up, and there we go. We're at a second there, so we've you can see that, and all we need to do is zoom in. You can see the image of the nest there, and then it enables me to manually focus. You can see with how to focus there, just bring it in, and there we go, pin sharp there. Zoom back out, and then that image should be bang on. Don't forget to put it back to the correct shutter speed, which on this one is 1/200th of a second. Now we're going to turn the flashes on and see if we can get some shots. Everything's turned on now. All we need to do is put the flashes in position. It's always a good idea just test everything before you put them in position. So we've got our flash guns here. Got the camera set on single shot. We're only going to shoot on single shot. As I said before, I don't want to do 5 shots a second, 20 shots a second. It'll give that strobe effect, and it's too invasive for the birds. So single shot. There we go. Let's get these flashes in position. That one's staying with me, and this one's going on the beam. What could possibly go wrong? So there we are, folks, that's it for this one. Something a little bit different. It's nice, isn't it, just to, you know, change things about a bit, you know, rather than the same old thing. So this flash game, it is a steep learning curve. I've got myself a flash meter on order, so hopefully that's going to help out a little bit, because it's a bit hit and miss doing it like this. You know, you can take test shots and you get there eventually, but I think the flash meter makes it a little bit more exact. So we'll see. Another one just flew in then. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, for a first session, I'm really chuffed with it. You know, I'm looking at the images on the back of the camera. We've got some good ones, hopefully. You know what I was after. So we've got some nice shots of the bird in flight as it's flying away from the nest. So, and they're in and out all the time. Fantastic to see. And I don't think it's going to be long, because I think swallows fledge between 18 and 23 days. So they look like they're ready to go, and they're so hungry. The adults are coming in with big crane flies, you know, daddy long legs, and they're stuffing them in like they're eating for, you know, like no one's business. Amazing how hungry they are. And then they've got that massive journey all the way back to Africa, which just beggars belief, to be honest. It's an astonishing, you know, feat of achievement. And then hopefully next year they'll be back here, and they might even use that nest again. So anyway, that's it for this one, folks. Thanks for watching us. Sorry the films haven't been as frequent lately, but like I said, we're in a state of flux at the moment. We're all over the place. Hopefully we've found a place, so we'll see how that goes. We'll give you an update on that nearer the time. I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it's looking promising. So loads of projects to get going with at the new place, hopefully. So if you've not subscribed, give us a subscribe. If you've liked it, give us a thumbs up. Thanks very much for watching. Drop us a comment, and I'll get back to you on the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. See you now.